After being bitten by a radioactive spider, Peter Parker underwent a series of physical and mental changes that ultimately transformed him into the superhero known as Spider-Man. Here's what happened to Peter Parker after the radioactive spider bite. Enhanced physical abilities. The radioactive spider bite granted Peter Parker a range of superhuman powers and abilities. These include enhanced strength, agility, speed, and durability. He became capable of lifting heavy objects, jumping great distances, and moving at exceptional speeds. Wall crawling. One of Spider-Man's most iconic abilities is his ability to cling to walls and surfaces, much like a spider. This power is the result of the spider's radioactive bite altering the structure of his skin and allowing him to adhere to surfaces. Spider sense. Peter developed a heightened sense of danger, often referred to as his spider sense. This precognitive ability alerts him to imminent threats, danger, or sudden changes in his environment, providing him with a split-second advantage to react and avoid harm. Agility and reflexes. Peter gained exceptional agility and reflexes, enabling him to perform acrobatic feats and evade attacks with ease. Web shooting and web swinging. In most adaptations, Spider-Man also creates mechanical web shooters that allow him to shoot webbing from his wrists. He uses this webbing to swing between buildings, create web-based tools, and immobilize foes. Intellect and creativity. The radioactive spider bite also seemed to enhance Peter's intelligence and creativity. He became an accomplished inventor, designing gadgets and modifying his web shooters. He was also a skilled photographer. Costumed identity. Inspired by a wrestling event where he failed to stop a thief, Peter designed a costume and adopted the superhero identity of Spider-Man. He used his newfound abilities to fight crime, protect the innocent, and uphold justice. Superhero career. As Spider-Man, Peter faced a variety of adversaries, including classic villains like the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, the Lizard, and more. He also balanced his superhero responsibilities with his personal life, juggling his relationships, school, and part-time work. Growth and responsibility. The death of Peter's Uncle Ben served as a profound lesson in responsibility. The tragic event made Peter realize that he needed to use his powers for the greater good and prevent others from experiencing similar losses. Overall, the radioactive spider bite fundamentally changed Peter Parker's life, leading him down a path of heroism, self-discovery, and personal growth as he embraced his new role as Spider-Man. The story of the radioactive spider biting Peter Parker and turning him into Spider-Man has been a core aspect of the character's origin across various media adaptations. While the basic premise remains consistent, there have been some variations and reinterpretations of this origin story in different media. Here's an overview of how the origin of the radioactive spider bite has evolved in various forms of media. 1967 Spider-Man cartoon. The original animated series featured the radioactive spider bite in its opening sequence, providing a concise introduction to Spider-Man's origins. 1994 Spider-Man animated series. This series delved into Spider-Man's origin story in more detail, maintaining fidelity to the comic book version of the radioactive spider bite. Spider-Man 2002 directed by Sam Raimi. This film starred Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. The movie portrayed the radioactive spider bite scene closely aligned with the original comic book, emphasizing Peter's transformation into Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2012, a reboot of the film franchise. This version starred Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker. The origin story once again included the radioactive spider bite, but with some variations in the presentation. Spider-Man Homecoming 2017 as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, this film features Tom Holland as Peter Parker. The origin story is briefly mentioned, but not shown in detail, as the focus is on Spider-Man's ongoing adventures. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018. This animated film explores the concept of the Spider-Verse, where multiple versions of Spider-People from different dimensions coexist. While the radioactive spider bite is not the central focus, it is referenced as part of Peter Parker's backstory. Various Spider-Man video games have incorporated the radioactive spider bite into their narratives, often providing players with interactive sequences that simulate the transformation and the subsequent development of Spider-Man's powers. Numerous comic book adaptations, including alternate universe stories and retellings, have explored variations of the radioactive spider bite event. The radioactive spider bite has been parodied and referenced in various forms of media, Showcasing its cultural impact and recognition, the portrayal of the radioactive spider bite has evolved over time to suit the medium and the creative team's vision. While the core elements remain consistent, each adaptation brings its own unique perspective to Spider-Man's iconic origin story. Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. One of Spider-Man's archenemies, the Green Goblin is a wealthy industrialist who turns to a life of crime. He possesses superhuman strength and intelligence, as well as advanced technology including his glider and explosive weapons. The Green Goblin is known for his sadistic tendencies and personal vendetta against Spider-Man. Dr. Octopus, Otto Octavius, a brilliant scientist, Dr. Octopus became a criminal mastermind after a laboratory accident fused mechanical arms to his body. These tentacle-like arms grant him enhanced strength and the ability to manipulate objects. Dr. Octopus is a frequent adversary of Spider-Man. Venom, Eddie Brock. Venom is a symbiotic organism that bonds with its host, enhancing their physical abilities while also amplifying their negative emotions. Eddie Brock, a former journalist who harbors a grudge against Spider-Man, becomes the first and most famous host of Venom. Venom is a powerful and iconic antagonist in Spider-Man's rogues gallery. Sandman, Flint Marko. Flint Marko gains the ability to transform his body into sand after a scientific experiment gone wrong. As Sandman, he can reshape his body and control sand particles, making him a formidable opponent for Spider-Man. Lizard, Dr. Kurt Connors, a brilliant scientist who inadvertently transforms into a giant humanoid lizard after a self-experiment gone wrong. The lizard alternates between his human and reptilian forms, struggling to control his more animalistic instincts. Rhino, Alexei Sitsovic. Alexei Sitsovic becomes the Rhino after being subjected to an experimental procedure that grants him a nearly indestructible suit with enhanced strength and durability. The Rhino is known for his brute force and durability. Electro, Max Dillon. Max Dillon gains the power to control and generate electricity after a freak accident involving power lines. He becomes the supervillain Electro, capable of wielding immense electrical energy and posing a significant threat to Spider-Man. Kraven the Hunter, Sergei Kravenov. Kraven is a skilled big-game hunter who seeks to prove his prowess by hunting Spider-Man. He employs various potions and techniques to enhance his physical abilities, making him a formidable adversary in terms of strength, agility, and strategy. Mysterio, Quentin Beck. Mysterio is a master illusionist and special effects artist who turns to crime. He uses his expertise in creating elaborate illusions to deceive and manipulate both Spider-Man and the public. Vulture, Adrian Toomes. Adrian Toomes invents a flight harness that grants him enhanced strength and the ability to fly. As the Vulture, he is a recurring enemy of Spider-Man and a formidable aerial combatant. These are just a few of the many villains Spider-Man has faced throughout his comic book history. The complexity and diversity of his rogues gallery have contributed to Spider-Man's enduring popularity and the rich storytelling opportunities within his universe. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.